How's it going, guys? I'm Amazing Adventures, and today is the first day of 2017, and I figured what better way to kick off the year than with a reptile room. So, to kick things off, I'm going to start with my turtle tank. So, this thing is a 20-gallon long tank. We've got pebbles, rocks, and fake plants here along the bottom. Nice little basking dock up there. Water filter. We've got a UVB and a heat lamp. And there are two little animals living in here. I have my... let's see, I'll start with this girl. This is my Yellow-Bellied Slider. She is actually one of my wild-caught species. She is about 5 months old. I caught her as a hatchling when she was just a few days old, I believe, in May. And she's grown quite a bit. She was about 1.2 inches when I got her. Absolutely tiny, and she's doubled or tripled or whatever the size is in size, and she's just huge now compared to what she was before, but obviously she still has a long way to grow. The next step for her will probably be upgrading out of this 20-gallon into a 30 or 40-gallon, or maybe into like some sort of outdoor pond enclosure. I'm not exactly sure. The guy I have in here is my Mississippi map turtle. Now, the Mississippi map turtle is actually a subspecies of the false map turtle, which is just kind of an interesting fact. Now, this guy, I believe it's a male. It's technically too young to tell, but if I were to place a guess, I would guess it was a male. He's actually in the middle shed right now, and thus he's flaps of stuff hanging around. He's pretty young. I don't know exactly how young. I got him last month at Reptile. It was sort of like a rescue-y organization, so that was kind of cool to be supporting that cause a little bit. But yeah, they didn't know how old he was. Only had him for a month, but he's doing great. He has a beautiful, beautiful underbelly, which is really cool about the false map turtles, especially when they're young. But yeah, he is a great little guy. Doing well. Now, both these turtles right now, I just feed them a mixture of meats, mealworms, and then occasional fruits and veggies. And they're doing fine. I might switch them over to a pellet diet. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's just about it for these guys. Next, we have my custom-made enclosure. It's about 10 gallons. It's a custom-made enclosure. Just made with sturdy wood, a bit of tape to mostly for a finished look and to seal up any small cracks that might be there. And then it's got a nice window screen on the front here and this nice screen on the top. I made a whole video about how I made this. If you want to see that, there's a link in the description. So inside we have a bunch of obviously fake plants. We have some branches and stuff for them to climb on, water bowl, a hide at the back, which they don't really use, but it's there in case they want it, and a food dish. I have a green Anole lizard who is doing well, probably one of the largest green Anoles we've ever found, but doing great. I've got a brown Anole lizard, which I had actually bought at the pet store sometime last year, or maybe this year, I don't know. I have it written down somewhere when I got it, I don't remember when. But yeah, brown Anole lizard. And then the other guy I have here is a gray tree frog. I don't know if it's Commons gray or a Copes gray, because the two species are exactly identical. There's just a difference in their genetics and in their call. So I don't know which one I have, but I know I have one of them, and that's pretty cool. So all three of these guys are on a diet of dusted mealworms right now, and they've been doing just fine with that, although I might switch them over to dubias in the next few months, depending on if I can get a colony going. We'll see if that happens or not. Because these guys do appreciate humidity, I spray them once or twice a day. Just mist them down really well, and I think they appreciate that. I think that's about all for these guys. We can go ahead and move on to the next enclosure. Okay guys, so the next animal we're going to be talking about is my beautiful pastel ball python, Sheila. She is in this 20-gallon long enclosure. She's got her warm hide, cool hide, water dish. Right now she's inside her cool hide right now. I don't know if the camera can see that or not, but she's hanging out in there. She's got a substrate of decompressed coconut fiber. It's mostly Zuma Decoworth, but I think there's a little bit of plantation soil in there. A few fake plants, mostly for me, just aesthetics. Hello. Here's my beautiful little girl. So she's about a year and a half old-ish. She's May 2015 ball python. As I mentioned before, pastel, but needless to say, a very beautiful pastel. Not all of them are as vibrant as this, but I think I got lucky as far as the vibrance of my morph. Fortunately, I made a mistake when purchasing her, and I accidentally got one that had been raised on live mice, and to this day I've not been able to switch it over. I'm still trying certain things, so we'll see if she gets there eventually. Maybe she'll mellow out as she gets older, but I kind of doubt that. Anyway, I'm going to keep on trying with her, but yeah, right now she's only eating live, and it's a real pain. Depending on how big she gets 2017, I might be able to breed her to somebody in you know, next winter. But we'll see. She might not get big enough. There's a very high chance she won't get big enough. So that might not happen at all. But if she does get big enough, then I've got myself a little option there. That's all for her. I think next up here we have my Colombian rainbow boa enclosure. This is a 36 by 18 by 18 Exoterra. Honestly, I don't think I would ever buy an Exoterra myself because they're so expensive. But this one was actually just given to me with the animal. It was somebody, they had it and they moved away and they needed somebody to take care of their snake. So they gave it to me. And I got my this beautiful Colombian rainbow boa along with the tank, one of the hides that's in there, and a lot of the plants and decor and stuff. We've got two hides, you can see. We've got like that one fake turtle shell hide, and then a nice big cork hide, water bowl, climbing plant, because Colombians are semi-arboreal. Hello. He is a male. He's about, let's see, 3 or 4 years old now. All I know about him was that he was a 2013 male. I don't know too much about him. He's about 3.5-ish feet. I don't know exactly. He is becoming a pain to measure. But yeah, very well-tempered snake for a boa. I've heard that sometimes they can be a little bit nippy, and this guy's certainly a little bit more touchy than my ball python, but he's nevertheless a really good snake. Up here, by the way, we have a ceramic heater and this is just like a fish tank full spectrum bulb thing. I just put that on there because it looks really nice, because he's a rainbow boa, so he does have that iridescence, which, by the way, I've been asked about, you know, what causes that. I guess that their scales have tiny microscopic prisms that act just like, you know, like any other prism would, and it creates a rainbow, and that's why you have that little rainbowy effect on there. It's just so small because it's all the microscopic little prisms on their scales. Well, I think that's just about it for this guy. We can go ahead and move on to the next enclosure. So next up here we have my, oh, she's squeaking, my peppermint Pac-Man frog. Now peppermint's just a morph in Pac-Man frogs. It gives it a more of a, I don't know what the right word is, I'm colorblind. But yeah, anyway, here she is. She's gotten a lot bigger since the last reptile room in July. I picked her up at a Repticon in July, and she has grown so much, doubled or tripled in size. But she's doing great. She's been on a diet of earthworms, mealworms, and fish, and the occasional mouse. So basically whenever one of my snakes is being picky and doesn't take a mouse, she gets it so it doesn't go to waste. She is a nippy little creature, so if you get too close to her head, she will bite at you. And actually, in the last reptile room, I pulled her out and she just started making screaming noises. It was kind of weird. Yeah, look at that. She doesn't like to be handled. She's doing great, getting bigger and bigger. She has been upgraded to a larger enclosure since last time, and she will probably need to be upgraded again in the next 6 months. I'll probably move her up to a 10-gallon eventually, and then she'll be good to go. She still has some growth to go, so she'll still get bigger. But yeah, quick rundown on her enclosure. It's just basically moist coconut fiber is all that this is, and then just rocks for decor. But that's all that she really needs. Just sits in one place, kind of buries herself sometimes doesn't. But normally this is her place where she likes to sit, and then we'll just wait for me to feed her. So yeah, really cool pet. These are really nice if you are like in an apartment or something, you don't have a lot of space, but you want something that's kind of like weird and exotic. On to the last reptile. This was another Repticon pickup last month in November. I picked up, actually, it's pretty awesome, if I can find her. Here you are. A little albino western hognose snake. Tiny little thing. She was about 7 weeks when I got her, so she's about 2 months old now. In the 1 month that I've had her, she has grown 1.5 inches, which is pretty impressive. I was a little bit worried getting a hognose that I was going to end up with a really picky snake. I mean, I already have Sheila, who will only take live, so I was worried I was going to run into problems. I made sure to get one that was already on frozen, and she took her first meal just fine. So yeah, she's just been eating baby pinkies and done absolutely fantabulous on them. Taking a look at this tank here, we just have a simple 10-gallon tank. There is a under tank heater right here, and a heat lamp right there because they are a desert species. They're native to the western United States actually. And then just rocks for decoration, water bowl, hide. She doesn't really use it because she buries herself, but once in a while she'll just sit in there inside the hide without even burying herself, which is fine. I don't really care. And then over here is this kind of cool little bird skull that I found in San Jose. I don't know, thought it was kind of interesting. Anyway, yeah, that's Lucy, my little albino hognose. She is doing just great. Really cool animal, really pleased to have got her. I recommend hognose to anybody.